And
welcome to our leadership speaker, Speaker N.
Oh,
okay,
good morning. I heard Hannah. Hannah,
okay.
how are you? Good afternoon.
Oh, good
Hi,
morning.
everybody.
And now I would like to open the meeting. Today, my name is Mariana Burka. I am your Sergeant at Arms and Zoom Master today. So here we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Leadership Speak is the premier club for experienced Toastmasters to become better self-directed leaders. We are an advanced club focused primarily on leadership development in everything we do. And today, our Toastmaster of the day is our very own International Speech Contest finalist, Fursey Gotuaco, who you can call anytime Mr. G in case you have a problem to pronounce his name. And he is the superb cook. He can cook up a best speech ever. So please welcome Fursey Gotuaco.
Thank you very much, SAA. Wait, my role is what tonight? Okay, hey, here we go. We're going with it. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I have the distinct honor of being your Toastmaster of the evening. And our theme this week is celebrating others. Celebrating others. And this is something we do very well in this club. We want to make sure that we're very intentional about it because we've got an incredible group of people who are very successful. I mean, just look across your field. We've got DTMs all over the place. We've got Hannah, we've got Tony. Tony have you been district director, Tony?
Actually, district governors a long time ago.
District governor. We have got incredible people here, and we want to make sure to celebrate them as often as we can, not just for what they do right here in the screen, but for everything that they've done. It's a mark of leadership. It is a mark of leadership that we can turn to somebody else and say, great job. It doesn't cost us anything. It doesn't cost us anything. You know, I learned this the hard way. I come from a family of many, many kids, and you're always kind of fighting and jostling and trying to get attention of mom and dad. And one of my brothers achieved a certain distinction of something. He was delivering paper, you know, in the early mornings, back when we had newspapers. He achieved a distinction. I was like, well, I was close too, you know. And my dad was like, come on, we're going to celebrate this guy right now. When you achieve something that's great, we will also celebrate you. I learned that lesson pretty young, but it's true. It doesn't cost us anything to celebrate the success of others. We work from a mindset of abundance. We work from a mindset of abundance, that we have appreciation to give. It doesn't cost us to appreciate somebody. As a matter of fact, it is an investment in others that they grow themselves, and they will usually be more than happy to kick it back to you when it's time. That's what I've discovered as a classroom teacher of over 30 years. That's what I've discovered as a principal for almost a decade, leading teachers. I try to let teachers know how awesome they are every chance I get. This is how we fill each other's tanks. Yes, we fill each other's tanks. And so we're going to keep doing that all through the meeting. I encourage all of you to keep sharing that kind of wonderful feeling to each and every person here. And we're going to start with some awesome experiences right now. We're going to go with our toast of the evening. And for that, Madam Rosie Rana, I beg your pardon. Rosie Rana, the mic is yours.
Hang on. There he is. Togi.
What is the most important trait that a person can have? To this question, the wise sage Dale Carnegie responded, "It is not the executive ability. It is not the great mentality. It is not even kindness or courage, not even humor or the ability or a sense of humor. While each one of these is of tremendous importance, in my opinion, the best trait is the ability to see the best in others." Fellow Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen, December is a month of festivity and celebration. And today, I invite every one of you to try and find the best in each other so that we can celebrate that best in each other. When I look around this room, there is so much we have. And just as Fursey has said, we are a unique club. We are in fact so fortunate because we are part of a club that is privileged to have members from different corners of the world. So let us celebrate, all of us in this room, the different nationalities, the different cultures, and the different experiences that we bring in. As an advanced club, let us celebrate our proactiveness in getting growth, in our combined accomplishments. And as the calendar year draws to a close, let us use what we have created as building blocks for a thriving future, because the future does look bright, because we know in the coming years, we will have more members, extended cultures, and more growth. And so today, what I do wish to toast to is a thriving future for leadership. I invite you, wherever you are, to raise your glass to a thriving future for leadership, to a thriving future.
To a thriving future. Thank you, Toastmaster Rosie.
Back to you.
Well done, Toastmaster Rosie. Well done. And what a clear voice. Thank you. Very well done. Things are bright. The future is bright. Although I didn't appreciate when Dinesh said that Fursey's head was bright. I was kind of like, that's going a little too far. You don't need to celebrate that. That's okay. It's all good, Dinesh. Everything's fantastic. I'm going to take a quick moment to introduce some of the guests. Let's welcome some of the guests real quick. Who have we got here? We got Zoe. Zoe, hello. Tell us what country you're coming in from.
Hello, everyone. My name is Zoe. I'm from China, currently living in Hangzhou and in the same club with Fursey and Tia.
We're in the same club together?
Yes, we
Sorry.
met today.
Hannah, I know who she is, Hannah. You're like, oh my gosh, Fursey, you're totally clueless. Yeah, we just had dinner together. Somebody else I just had dinner with, TMOD, a guest tonight. Would you tell us where you're from?
Good evening, good morning, everybody. I am also in Hangzhou, originally from Texas, USA, but I am in the club with Fursey and Zoe. I am happy to be here tonight.
Fantastic. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm looking down the screen trying to see who else is a guest, and I apologize if I call out a member that I haven't met yet. Sam, are you a guest or a member? Sam Xiang?
Yeah. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Are you a guest, and where are you from, if so?
Yeah, I'm the guest. Okay, I came from Shenzhen, from China, Shenzhen city.
Excellent.
So yeah, I came from my club. My club's name is Pingshan number 1.
Terrific. Well, I tell you what, Sam, you're number 1 in our heart for being here tonight with us. Thank you so much for joining us. We're a fantastic group of people. I can speak for myself, and I can speak for Sandy, and well, I can speak for just about everyone. It's a great group of folks, especially Mariana. Best SAA this evening. I'll give you that one, Mariana. Marcus, are you a guest this evening? You're not driving, are you? Marcus, you're muted, sir.
Sorry, I'm from Sri Lanka. So I came to see my mom and the sister small kids are making noise, so I don't want to disturb this meeting. I came to the car. Hi, everyone.
Thank you, Marcus. We appreciate you having you in the meeting. Feel free to join us for some table topics, maybe in a little bit, if you get a chance to unmute. Sandra, are you a guest, Sandra?
Hi, I am from Trinidad and Tobago. Sandra from Trinidad and Tobago. I'm not sure if I'm a guest. I've done all the paperwork, but I am not seeing a debit to my credit card. So I'm not sure if I'm a guest or not. But I've
okay.
attended meetings.
Well, somebody help her give us some money. Let's get this lady on board. Sandra, so happy that you are joining our family of online speakers. Thank you so much. We're going to have some fun today. And Linda, am I mistaken? Are you a guest or are you a new member?
Hello, Fursey. I am a guest. I have attended this club meeting before, received an invitation to attend. I decided to partake this morning. Thank you so much for allowing me to attend. Look forward to
Great.
this
Well,
meeting.
who invited you? Because they get like a free bowl of soup if they bring somebody. Sorry, Brom. I know that was a really bad joke. You don't really like Toastmasters of the evening to tell such bad jokes. My apologies.
Actually, we introduced the guests at the end because you otherwise will chew up some time. So we introduced guests after 10:30.
I will move forward then. We are going to go to our timer. We're going to introduce our timer. Our timer of the evening is going to be Bansera. And we're going to introduce him real quick. Bansera is, are you here? Are you there? I thought I saw him.
That's not my name.
Banazri? Sorry.
Yes.
Couldn't read it. Banazri Banerjee. Banazri Banerjee. Yes. And she would like to have an award for the way nurses nurture us back to wellness. This is the kind of celebration of people that she would like to have. Over to you, Madam Timer.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Fursey. So as a timekeeper, my role would be to alert the speakers of every section of the meeting by changing my background to green, yellow, and red. I would change it to green when the minimum time is reached, and it would change to yellow when it is almost going to be your end, and the red will come to stop you. But I shall give you 30 seconds more to wrap up your speech. First section would be for the prepared speeches, and that is, as per today's agenda, is all going to be 5 minutes to 7 minutes of speech. I would come back with a report after every section. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Fantastic. Thank you, Toastmaster Banashri. Moving forward with our timer of the evening, we have Marie, excuse me, not timer, we just did timer. Do you ever get that feeling of deja vu? Do you ever get the feeling of deja vu? Moving forward with our grammarian of the evening. Thank you, Sandy, I appreciate that. Moving forward with our grammarian of the evening is Marie. Marie, I've never learned how to say her last name. Is it Cuisine, cousin, cuisine?
Cuisine.
Excellent. That was going to be my next guess. She would like to create an award where we recognize how someone turns a vulnerability into a strength, how someone turns a vulnerability into strength. Madam Grammarian, the mic is yours.
Thank you, first Toastmaster of the day. Dear fellow Toastmasters and guests, as grammarian, it's my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I will take note of any improper language, as well as any outstanding words, quotes, saying or thoughts. As grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. And today, the word of the day is why. Is a verb, and it's my responsibility to, excuse me, and it is to express, did you see my, I don't see. It is to express admiration or approval of the achievement or characteristic of someone or something. An example of using the word is, this club should be praised for its international commitment. Each speaker encouraged to use the word of the day. I will give the grammarian report when called upon during the meeting and also report on the usage of the word of the day. Thank you. Fursey, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Marie. We appreciate the word of the day. Our general evaluator, just to say hello to her, is Francois Owen. We will introduce you later in the evening as you take over the second half of the meeting. Thank you. Great to see you. All right, we're going to move forward with our first speaker, who is actually our leadership educational speaker. This is going to be Anna Varghese. She is our educational speaker. We'd like to recognize her and celebrate the fact that she has been a 21-year member in Toastmasters with her DTM. She is a member of Me Speak Toastmasters. She would like to create an award recognizing someone for volunteering with people with disabilities and or people in marginalized groups. This is the kind of way that she would like to celebrate others. Her speech tonight is from the Innovative Planning Level 5, Prepare to Speak Professionally. It is 18 to 22 minutes timer, 18 to 22 minutes. Anna Varghese, your title is How to Raise a Toast. How to Raise a Toast, Anna Varghese.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. How do you make toast? We all know, take a piece of bread, put it in the toaster. But how do you make a toast? Did you notice the difference? My first question was, how do you make toast? And my second question was, how do you make a toast? Without the article or without a or the before the word toast, it would be making the toast for breakfast, usually. If you add in the a or the, it becomes what we are doing, raising the toast. So for raising the toast, we have other terminologies. You raise the toast, you deliver the toast, you propose a toast. In all this, there will be that article before the word toast. Why do we celebrate? As Rosie said, you pay tribute to people. You acknowledge their success. You want to shine a spotlight to show how far this person has come. So let me show you a little example of, in fact, very much how Rosie had done. She actually did the perfect toast. But let me show you one thing. As she explained and went through the intro, she had enough words to explain what she was toasting about and why she was toasting. That part was great. So as soon as she said two, everybody did the toast, and then you sip the water. But here's one thing that I would suggest. Sorry. Let's say this is Christmas time and you are at a Christmas party and you've been called upon to raise the toast. So you have said about the Christmas. Say, for example, this is after 2 years of COVID, we've all got together. This is great to celebrate Christmas. There's peace and joy bubbling all over. And I would like to propose a toast to the joy of Christmas. Once I've said that, then I would say, please join me in raising a toast to the joys of Christmas. And what would you do? You would also raise your glass and repeat after me, to the joys of Christmas. However, I'm sorry, before you say to the joys of Christmas, you as the person giving the toast must prepare the audience for it. So how do you prepare the audience for it? You tell them, I'm going, as soon as you stand, you say, I'm going to propose a toast. You don't have to say that, but from the way of your interaction, they would get it. But you will say, now this is a Zoom meeting. So I'll say, please unmute yourselves because we want to hear everyone toasting. Please raise your glass, which Rosie had said. Raise your glass, unmute yourselves, and join me to the joys of Christmas.
To the joys of
To the
Christmas.
joys of Christmas.
And then the host will take the sip. And then the audience will take the sip. And then the host will put the glass down and say thank you to the audience and clap. So these are a few things after saying to the joys of Christmas that you do. You take the sip, you clap, or you say thank you, and then you put the glass down and return control to the chair. Now, why do you say thank you? You say thank you to the audience because you have requested them. Please unmute yourselves. Please raise your glass. Please join me. So they have been following what you said. And since they've been following what you said, you are now thanking them. So you've got to thank them. Now the audience will not drink first. The host will drink first. Yeah. Why do we know this? Where did that custom come from? This goes back to almost 3,000 years ago. In the 6th century BC was when the Greeks started this custom. In fact, what they would do was they would pour a little water into their palm, they'll throw it up into the air, and then they would drink. Now, I found that very, very strange because this custom that was almost 3,000 years ago, is there even today? See, I came to I lived in Africa before we came to Canada. And there's, I don't know, some of you probably have. Brahm definitely lived in Africa. And in many of the tribes in Africa, oh, Rosie, you too. The head of the family is the oldest grandmother. In fact, Brahm likes to call me grandmother. And she's the matriarch of the family. She is the most important person. So when there's a gathering, they bring the cauldron of whatever drink it is. They pour it to her. She will take that first sip. And then only the drink is served to others. Now we can guess why, because it's just to show that there's no poison in the water, right? So even in the toast, because it's a practice that's been going on, the host will take the drink first. So that's one thing we have to remember. Now, so they honor the gods, and then this whole practice has gone. Now you can imagine over the years how all this has changed. Now, you can toast to an event or to a celebration or something, but we know that you can also toast to a person. Now, how do we toast to a person? So I'm going to deliver a toast for Rosie. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, did you see how Rosie delivered her toast? Beautifully said, articulate. She had very good diction in the way she spoke her words, and she toasted to the right thing. And I would like to honor her by raising a toast to Rosie. Please unmute yourselves, raise your glass, and toast with me. To Rosie.
To Rosie.
To Rosie.
Thank you. And then I would return the lectern back to the controller. Now, Rosie did the right thing. She did not drink. When you toast to a particular person, that person will not drink because you're toasting to that person. I have seen in many places you go, say, to a wedding, and they are toasting to the bride and bridegroom. Of course, this is a Western custom, so not in every part of the world they know these things. And then you know, the bride and bridegroom unknowingly will also drink, but that's of course because they don't, have not heard of the custom before and do not know the significance of that the toast is for them. So then they do not drink. Perhaps later they will, stand up and say thank you and make another toast, but not at the time. So Rosie, well done. You really know how to do the toast and accept the toast. Now, why do we call it the toast? What is all this about toast? I know the Greeks would do that. Now, this goes back to the 1st century, before BC, 1st century BC, where the Romans took on this practice. So what did the Romans do? They would take a piece of bread and burn it, toast it till it's burnt, and put the burnt piece into the drink. And usually it was always wine. And they had known that if you put a piece of charcoal into wine, even very bad wine that's almost tasting like vinegar will become mellowed. The wine will taste better. Maybe you can try it at home. So they had this custom of burning the bread, putting the burnt piece, the toasted burnt piece into the wine, and then letting that, and then drinking from that wine. So that's where the word toast came. And then Ralph Smedley, when he started Toastmasters, he thought we need to celebrate. This is why we get together, to see the best in everyone, to acknowledge the best in everyone. And when you want to do and celebrate that, you want to toast to them. So he too took on the word toast, and hence we are called Toastmasters. Now let us do this as a little practice. Who have we got here that is there a volunteer that would like to propose a toast, say to Fursey? I would like a volunteer to propose a toast to Fursey. Anyone? Tony, please go ahead.
Fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guests, I wish to propose a toast to the most excellent Toastmaster, Fursey Gotuaco. Please join me in raising your glasses to a toast to this, our most deserving clubmate, to Fursey.
To Fursey. Thank you.
Back, right, gotta close this deal. Back to you,
Anne.
you wonderful person.
Thank you very much, Tony. Thank you for that. You really did, a good job. I put you on the spot, and then you did it. Excellent.
Thanks.
So this is Christmas time, and we being Toastmasters, let us be prepared all the time. Let us know that at any moment, somebody in the crowd could pick on us and say, hey, you, Zoe, or Fursey, or Linda, you're a Toastmaster. Sure, you can raise the toast. So be prepared at any time to be called up and raise the toast. That is one tip when you are delivering a toast or proposing a toast. Be spontaneous and always be confident. You saw how confident Tony was. confident. And of course, if it's a physical group, you stand up. Even in a virtual group, it'll be a good idea to stand up and make eye contact. It's no good saying to Tony or to Fursey somewhere else. If it's a virtual meeting, look onto the camera, because then you've made eye contact with the person and with the audience. Another tip is focus on the recipient. The whole thing is about the recipient. It's not about you. No, there's no need to gab about all your achievements. Talk of the achievements of the person who you are toasting to. And of course, inject some humor. This is a little difficult for me because by nature, I'm a very serious person. And I am in Toastmasters and remained in Toastmasters all these years to help me actually inject some humor into my even everyday talk or the speeches that I give. I think I'm getting a little better now, but even after 21 years, I have a lot more to go to inject a little humor into what I'm saying. Another tip is definitely show sincerity. You saw the sincerity in Rosie's voice, in the way her facial expressions were, in the way even Tony did his toast. So this is a very important aspect of being very, very sincere. Talk from your heart. Let it come out, because when that happens, the recipient is going to feel good. After all, isn't that the reason why we even help others achieving success? You should let them know that you are sincere about it. There are places there people will just say so many things about someone, but from the tone and the voice, you wonder whether the person is sincere. But you have to be sincere, because if you're not sincere, there's no point in you even coming up to there. And certainly when you're doing the toast, you try and avoid reading from a paper, because even if you put the paper down and look at it occasionally, but just make the eye contact and speak directly. Do not use notes. It may show lack of sincerity. Keep the whole thing short and sweet. Now, of course, this depends on whatever gathering you are at. Suppose you are at a wedding and you are the best man proposing a toast to the bride or the bridegroom. Then of course you are going to have a longer introduction, a longer speech to talk about them. But if it is at a meeting like this, then it should barely be 1 or maximum 2 minutes. So if you are at a gathering, check in with the chair how much time you have. Please do not go for a 5 to 7 minute speech or 10 to 20 minute speech just because you've been given the platform. Keep it short and sweet. That will be much more appreciated. The audience will understand and they will remember it for a long time. What about the sentence that you are toasting? That sentence must be very short. Like both how Tony did and Rosie did. Just say, to the joy of Christmas. Or if it is a person, then to the person, to Mariana. Just very short and sweet. Do not use a long sentence, because the audience are not going to remember that very long sentence. You may be wondering how I know all this. Where did I get all this one from? There was one time I was mentoring somebody on how to do to present a toast or how to propose a toast. And after I finished, she told me, how do you know this? Where did you get this from? In what pathways is this? And I told her, you're not going to see this in any pathways. This is just a custom that started from 6th century BC. And over the years, it has many things in our lives that we pass on through word of mouth. It's through word of mouth that we have come to this position. So not everyone is the same. Have you watched how the Russians present their toast? The host will say, to to the games of Russia or something like that. And then they drink and they throw the glass out. Have you seen that? I watch Russians do that. They drink and they don't even take a sip. They just gulp it down the throat. They gulp it down and then throw the glass out. And that's how they do it. So you can imagine over the years, there's many, many practices. I've been to many banquets where I have just observed this, where, especially when there are dignitaries coming and you observe it. And even in Toastmasters, how do we learn everything? By observing. There is no situation where there's a tutor and a student, but we observe what others do, we work on it, and we improve on it. So my wish to you, fellow Toastmasters and guests, is if you have heard another way of presenting a toast, if you have heard another better way or funnier way, please let me know, because we are all here to improve. We are all here to grow. Whatever was happening a long time ago, maybe for that time it was appropriate. As time goes on, we have to move with the times. When I joined Toastmasters, every Toastmaster came to the meeting wearing formal clothing. The men had a tie and three-piece suit. The women wore business attire. But today, look at us. We could be wearing a t-shirt and jeans. So sometimes you move with the times. So the toast also has moved with the times. And when you hear of something, please let me also know. I too would like to improve on the way I present the toast. So the next time, fellow Toastmasters and guests, when you are out in any group, whether it's a small group, a family group, remember, if you are called up to present the toast or to propose the toast, be prepared. Let the audience be prepared. Tell them what to do. You raise the glass, you propose the toast, you take a sip first, and then put the glass down, thank the audience, clap, everybody will clap with you, and then you return the control back to the chair. So the next time you have all this, please remember that there's a dignified way of doing everything as Toastmasters. This is what we should do. And this is what everybody should celebrate us for, that we have grown over the time and grown even in presenting the toast. So let's raise our glass once more and say, to Toastmasters.
To Toastmasters.
Toastmasters.
Thank you, everyone. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster Fursey.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ann. What a great job. To help celebrate this moment, I'd like to bring Bram Mamone to the virtual mic. Bram, go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much. I want to be in this meeting today, so I just wanted to thank Ann Varghese for coming and teaching us how to do a toast. Ann Varghese is a stalwart in District 86. She is a very experienced Toastmaster, as you've heard, and she knows how to raise the toast. Ann, thank you so much for coming by today and being with us. For those of you who don't know, Ann is a legend. And why is she a legend? Because, you know, every time I talk about my Speak Toastmasters, and there were only 2 Toastmasters who were present, and the rest of them never came back. And I was the club coach, and we took the club to 53 members and one of the top 4 clubs. She was one of those 2 members who was left in the club, and together with me and Bush and Riley built the club to one of the top 4 clubs. So she is a legend. She knows what she's doing. Thank you so much, Ann. It's a pleasure. I won't be in this meeting today because my son is getting married, but there won't be any toast because the culture is very different. He's getting married in Kenya. Everyone, thank you very much for having me. Back to you, Fursey.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Want to make sure we get that in there. All right, let's keep moving forward. We are going to go with our first speaker, our registered first speaker. Let me see if I can get my screen going. Whoops, wrong screen. I beg your pardon. Golly, sometimes. Still playing. All right. Our first speaker is going to be Aswathy Rajan. Aswathy. And she, oh no. She would like to celebrate by creating an award for mentors. She feels that mentors, like those unsung heroes who remain unrecognized and unnoticed, these people need to be celebrated. The achievements, they celebrate the achievements of others, and we sometimes forget those who must have worked tirelessly behind the screens to make that happen. Aswathy is going to be doing a speech from her Pathway of Presentation Mastery, Level 1, Evaluation and Feedback, the first speech, Level 1, the first speech, Presentation and Feedback, Evaluation and Feedback. Aswathy Rajan, find the sunshine within you. Find the sunshine within you. Aswathy Rajan.
Do you think you can achieve something through hockey? Hockey. Better you concentrate on your studies and secure your future. These were the words of a mother to her daughter. There was a young and aspiring girl who was passionate about hockey. After playing junior nationals, she was all aiming to play in her hockey team of the university. But her mother, she wanted her to quit sports for studies. And like a sincere daughter, with a heavy heart, she just nodded to what her parents said. Fellow Toastmasters and dear friends, have you ever come across such a situation where choosing one over the other was so difficult? Have you ever given up on your dreams, which was so close to your heart? That's exactly how that girl felt that day. Despite being a national hockey player, she had to abandon sports for studies. Blurring her love for hockey, deep inside, she saw a new dream, a dream of becoming a scientist because of her parents. Years passed. With her strenuous hard work, determination, and dedication, she became a scientist, a postdoctoral fellow, and also received the National Award for Young Scientists. Soon, she got married, and the girl had a very supportive husband and a lovely daughter. Ignoring herself completely, she was enjoying her motherhood. That was the time when the Indian women hockey team qualified for Rio Olympics after 36 years. The news tickled her old memories. She was ecstatic about this news. She too wanted to hold her hockey stick and hit the goal. But she couldn't. After her second daughter's birth, this ex-hockey player became a plump, flabby, and a bloated, overweight woman. Oh my God, look at you. You have put on so much weight. Oh dear, you can have this herbal drink. It will definitely reduce your weight. Madam, this dress will not fit you. You better buy a double XL. These words pierced through her heart. Worried about her physical appearance, she slowly drowned herself into postpartum depression. Standing in front of the mirror was like self-body shaming for her. And not only this, she had to give up her career because of her family. Even the love of her husband and smiles of her lovely daughters failed to give hope. Friends, have you ever felt depressed, dejected, or hopeless? She lost her confidence completely. She was stuck in a dark tunnel. Thinking about the old days, she remembered her old friend, Bhuvi, and made her a call to share her pain. After listening to her, Bhuvi said, "You are not a girl I knew. My friend was a fighter. She will never quit." Think about the Wonder Woman, Mary Kom, Venus Williams, Sania Mirza. Motherhood and family responsibilities were never a barrier to their success. Those words were like a booster dose for that girl. The girl said to herself, "Now it's my turn." She started her fitness journey. She took baby steps and started with 500 meters run daily. Challenging herself, she slowly made a regime for herself. Come rain or shine, she did not stop. 500 meters became 1 kilometer, then 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers, and finally she started running 7 kilometers daily. It is well said that your mind is a powerful thing. When you fill it with all positive thoughts, your life will start to change. And it did for her. She was able to redeem her confidence and regained her lost strength. Her rejuvenated and motivated spirits pushed her to overcome her own limitations. If you all are wondering who that woman is, that ex-hockey player, former scientist, a responsible mother of 2 kids, it's me, Dr. Aswathy Rajan. At present, minus 20 kgs, plus 100% confidence. I may not be like Mary Kom, Venus Williams, or Sania Mirza, but I am surely a fighter. I am a believer. My journey was not so easy, but I never ever gave up. I pushed myself higher and harder and found a sunshine inside me, leaving the shadows behind. Remember, it's only you who can find the gleams of sunshine in your life. What you are looking for, it is not out there. It is in you. Find the sunshine in you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Fantastic. Thank you, Aswathy. Thank you very much for that incredibly inspiring story. Fantastic. Thank you. To our second speaker of the evening, Hannah Schmidt. Hannah is proud of the fact that although she was a self-described slow starter, she achieved her DTM in the legacy system, and she is very proud of it. As a matter of fact, there is a plaque that hangs above her monitor, which reminds her every day of this great success. We celebrate you, Madam DTM. And now on to your speech. Hannah is going to be doing presentation mastery pathway, same exact speech that we just heard, the same exact project, only this is the second of the 2 speeches in the evaluation and feedback. Hannah Schmidt, Betty's 24/7. Betty's 24/7, Hannah Schmidt.
By a show of hands, who gets up at 6 a.m. when that alarm rings? Tring, tring. Or unlike Sandy, she gets up at 5 a.m. Mr. Toastmaster, we all receive 24 hours every day, every week, or they call it 24/7 nowadays. And by midnight, they're all gone. So use them wisely. We cannot accumulate them, not even 1 second. So when Betty gets up at 6 a.m., she has already had a day, 6 hours done nothing but sleep. I hope she hasn't had a nightmare. Nevertheless, when Betty wakes up at 6, I realize we all need a good night's sleep. Getting adequate sleep and staying healthy prevents us from doing our work slovenly. And we need to do it all over again. Ladies and gentlemen, that is precious time wasted. Toastmasters and friends, this leaves Betty with another 18 hours for the rest of the day. And for 2 hours, Betty showers, gets dressed, gets the kids ready for school, prepares and has breakfast. Ugh, the dishes, they can wait. Betty hops into the car, drops off the kids at school, and is on time for work. She is no home worker. As an extremely dedicated and motivated worker, she plans her most challenging task when she has the most energy, early in the morning. And all her tasks are completed diligently and on time. She plans and organizes whatever needs to be achieved. With her experience as a passionate communicator and committed leader, she sets aside dedicated time to connect with her colleagues and customers. She is full of praise for her colleagues that perform well, and she is celebrating their achievements. But poor Betty has been running at peak performance for the past 5 hours. At long last, she can find some time for a magic lunch break and now has time for that long overdue cuppa. But this relaxation period is only for 1 hour. At 2 p.m., she attends the next 3 hours in her office. And she plans ahead. She is highly determined to have a clean and tidy desk. By the end of the day, cluttering has a negative effect on her productivity. For a few moments, she has also time to answer her emails and telephone calls, while she also thinks of planning to get the ingredients for tonight's dinner. It's hubby's birthday, and friends have been invited for dinner to attend. For the next 1 hour, at least, she hopes to be at home, because for the next 4 hours, they are celebrating the hubby's birthday, and everybody's enjoying the party. And at long last, Betty has time to hop into bed for a rest, to wind down for the remaining 2 hours. With this hectic, jam-packed schedule, has Betty had time for that overdue doctor's appointment, going lunch with Betty, with Mary, or having coffee with me? And what about her Toastmaster evening, which is also overdue tonight? We always speak about our internal clock. Listen to this very interesting research that has been made. A few volunteers have been assigned to stay for a few days, actually some weeks, underground in a fully furnished house no radio, no TV, no watch, no sunlight. They have been excluded from, totally isolated from all external stimuli. And very interesting what came out of this, some of these participants, their time, a rhythm time changed over to 24 hours, sleeping, waking, sleeping, 25 hours. Do they now call it 25/7? Or do we still say at 24/7? Our 24-hour cycle can be thrown out of balance totally by shifting the clock 1 hour forward, 1 hour backwards, when daylight saving times begins and ends. Just think of the jet lag that we get when traveling from east to west or vice versa. The external and our internal clock definitely do not synchronize. Nevertheless, we all get the same amount of 24 hours, whether we're a tramp, an engineer, a queen, a king. We all receive the same time, 24 hours or 24/7. And it is up to each and every one of us to make the best use of this non-renewable resource. Once it's gone forever. And the biggest mistake we, all of us, make in life is thinking, we've got so much time on our hands. And out of these 24 hours, have you, I, had 1 second to smile? Mr. Toastmaster.
Nice job, Hannah. Thank you, Toastmaster Hannah. I appreciate the fact that you have again, the second time around, reminded us of the most precious resource that we have. And I see again why you have that DTM. Well done, DTM, Hannah. Thank you. Our third speaker this evening, Bindhu Joseph. She believes in the concept that a relaxed mind is more receptive to a message. Humor and storytelling are effective tools to sneak in a message. She would like to create an award for the visionary Toastmaster to be awarded to someone who can develop an AI-based program to help us put our information into pathways. She is going to be doing her speech tonight from the Engaging Humor Pathway, Level 3, Effective Body Language, 5 to 7 minutes. Bindhu Joseph, and so it shall be. And so it shall be. Bindhu Joseph.
It was a dull, dreary, drizzly night. It was a night duty. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a doctor, a cancer specialist, to be more specific. And my companion for this dull, dreary night duty was Sister Lovely, a staff nurse. Yes, I said lovely. I can see a lot of Indians there, so they will know that me and Lovely from the state of Kerala, Kerala parents, they use this indiscriminate license of naming their kids. Believe me, I have friends called Lovely, Joy, Jesus, and even Darling. Well, now let's get back to Lovely. So I was just flipping through an album. It happened to be Lovely's wedding album. And as I was going through, I noticed that in some pics, Lovely was wearing a beautiful Catholic wedding gown. But in others, I could see she and her husband in the traditional Hindu attire. Lovely saw me looking so perplexed, and she laughed and she said, ours was a mixed marriage or an intercaste marriage. I'm a Catholic and he's a Hindu Brahmin. There was so much struggle and dissension between the families, but finally they agreed on one condition. we hold both types of marriages, both the Christian style as well as a Hindu style. By now, I was looking like your proverbial goldfish, eyes round, mouth open. And I said, did you say both the vows, the wedding vows, the Catholic as well as the Hindu? She laughed and said, no. My husband, he was against the Catholic wedding vows. I was stunned. What is wrong with the Catholic wedding vows? I tried to remember. For better or for worse, in sickness and in health, for poorer or in wealth. What was wrong with that? Then she explained. He doesn't like the concept of thinking of bad happening in the future. Why should we prime our marriage with that concept that all these things are going to happen? Why should we tempt the universe? I didn't understand. I absolutely didn't understand. Then I thought about it a little more and I did understand. He didn't like the negative mindset of anticipating bad things in the future. Well, she got called away for another call that was in the emergency room and I was left alone. So left alone in my thoughts. And it got me thinking, have I been ever subject to this sort of mindset? The sort of mindset that thinks of problems as in, how will we deal with it? Rather than, let me be courageous and creative and conquer it. That brought me to think about an incident that happened 2 weeks back. We suddenly got a notice that all the members of our hospital, that is 2,400 employees, had to write a computer literacy test. I don't know, Aswathy, whether you had that sort of experience. For me, oh my gosh, computer literacy is not something I can ever claim as a talent I'm ever going to have. But not so for the millennials, my juniors. They immediately enrolled. I was thinking of sticking to my usual pattern, study well and do well. My plan was to read the syllabus like a doctor reads and maybe take the test 3 months from then. But all of a sudden, we got a notice, a sudden opening that a new center was going to give this test in just 1 week's time. I thought, shall I break my pattern? Well, none of the other professors had enrolled, but then a few of my juniors did. So I thought, why not? Let me just try it once. And that's what I did. I enrolled, just 5 more days for the test. Absolutely no time to go through the syllabus. And I was working too. So I just downloaded some questions from the internet and read it. The exam came and I'm thinking like, what the heck am I doing? Why did I ever think of doing this? But when the evening came, I had a Cheshire smile. I had actually passed. So all this thinking, and especially being alone there in that night duty room, it made me sleepy and I slept off. I woke up and there in front of me was a beautiful young girl. Wings. Oh my gosh, I'm in heaven. So does that make me God? Why not? Why does everyone look confused? Why can't God be a woman? I asked her, why was she looking so perplexed? And I also looked at my Fitbit, 3 hours, not enough time of sleep even for God. She said, someone on earth doesn't like the English wedding vows. I wanted to get back to my sleep. I said, okay, then change it. She looked stunned. Use a serenity prayer and make some modification of that. Saying that, I promptly went back to sleep. She quickly Googled, Yes, why not? Google may exist in heaven. Serenity prayer. Okay, then she made the changes. Give me the serenity to know that our life together may face changes in the future. Give me the courage and creativity to conquer those changes. And give me the wisdom to know when to do so. And that, my dear friends, fellow Toastmasters and guests, is how it should be. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Bindhu Joseph. Thank you for telling us how it should be. We appreciate it. At this time, could I please ask for the timer's report, Madam Timer?
Yes, of course you can ask. Time is incredibly valuable, and I would like to praise all our speakers for sticking to the limit that were given to them. Our first speaker, Annie Varghese, she completed her speech at 20 minutes, 28 seconds. Toastmaster Aswathy Rajan, she took 6 minutes, 55 seconds. Hannah Schmidt, she took 6 minutes, 58 seconds. And the last speaker, she completed it, Bindhu Joseph, she completed it at 6 minutes and 45 seconds. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Fantastic. Thank you, Toastmaster Banasri Banerjee. Now that I finally figured that out, I'm going to keep getting it right. Thank you for using the word of the day. We praise you and celebrate your great timing. Timekeeper is always difficult. And I do want to thank all three and rescheduled speakers. And of course, Anne, thank you for sharing so much of your lives with us. All of you shared a great deal of your lives with us, and I appreciate that. That in and of itself is a great celebration of life and celebration of what brings us together as a community. The other thing that brings us together as a community is the need for a bio break. So we're going to go ahead and take a few minutes right now. Timer, if you would please set us up for 5 minutes. We'll see you all back here in 5 minutes. Thanks, everyone. See you soon.
Well, I don't have that timer clock. Is it possible that someone can help me on the screen with the timer?
I don't clock and let us
have...
know when 5 minutes is up. We don't put a special clock out. Just start your clock and let us.
It's
yeah, perfect. And remove your yellow background right now.
And Banashri, what you're going to do is you're going to put your hand out like this, and then at every minute you just sort of, yes, ma'am. Yes. I know you're going to tell me just do this, Fursey, and then push yourself, move on. Thank you, madam.
While we're having a break here and everybody's going to have his tea, breakfast, or whatever, may I speak to the guest? She only calls herself guest. How did you enjoy the meeting up to now? No, you're muted. Okay, I'll go up to Lucky Almore. Welcome to Leadership Speak.
Hello there.
Say a few words about the meeting while we've got this 5-minute break.
Oh, it's a welcoming break of all the humor that I've heard and all the drinking that I had to do. Luckily, my class was not nearby. It was quite an interesting evening. Thank you. Thank you for sharing all this.
And I see my good friend Melton also here with us. Welcome to Leadership Speak. Hi. Give us a word or two about the meeting, please. Are you shy? Oh, bye. Okay, no problem. And I'd like to go to Uthaya Kumar. Uthaya Kumar, are you ready to give us a word or two? There we are. Thank you. Give us a
Thank you,
word or
Hannah.
two today.
Hey, Hannah. Yeah, happy to be here. Another leadership meeting. And always it is interesting to be part of this meeting. And lots of learning, insightful things I learned when I joined this meeting.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And who else would like to say something? Antoinette. Our guest, Antoinette Midai. Would you like to say a word or two?
Good afternoon.
Yes, hi. Welcome to Leadership Speak.
Thank you very much. I'm dialing in from Abyei. Abyei is a contested area between South Sudan and Sudan. I work here, I've been here for the last 2 years. Happy to have joined the meeting. I've enjoyed myself immensely, and I'll definitely be coming back to join this meeting. I'm a member of Mtandao Toastmasters, an online meeting, Toastmasters meeting also. Thank you.
Super, 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 super. And our next one, shall I say my victim, is Nayalia. You've got such a beautiful smile on your face. There we are.
Hi,
Thank
good
you.
morning. I love the meeting. I learned so much about giving a toast. I thought I already knew how, but I learned so much more today. So I really enjoyed that presentation. And the other speeches were good as well. As usual, I enjoyed being here today.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Who else would? Mr. Kumar, are you shy to speak a word or two?
No, see, it's the hand up.
Okay. And to Marcus, there we are. Marcus, would you like to say a word? We haven't got very much time left, so let's quickly get the rounds.
It was really nice to see how the toast, how we toast together, celebrate leaders as leaders, what celebrating means, and appreciating each other as a group. Now, when we get together as a group, that is where development also happens. So as a team, like how Toastmasters help each other to develop, and I see how professionally it's done, as all are very experienced speakers, Toastmasters. I am coming from a startup Toastmasters club from Sri Lanka, that is Torrington Toastmasters Club, and on my way to level 3. So once I completed and being eligible, I'm really hoping to join this club in future. I'm so much excited to meet you all every week. And
thank you very much, Marcus.
Thank you very much, Marcus. I would like to welcome back our Toastmaster of the day, Fursey Gotuaco.
Thank you very much, Timer and SAA. Well done, both of you. I appreciate that. We're going to keep moving forward with the second half of our meeting. We're going to move forward with a man who knows how to do his job. And his job right now is to be our fabulous table topics master. Ram, let's have an international table topics moment. Sir, to you.
Mr. Toastmaster, what an introduction that you've done so far. It's great to hear you like that. And today we have a variety of people attending. Particularly, I'm very encouraged to see that there's a number of guests here. So I've got a lot of choices to pick from. It'll be great to see that. Table Topics is a fun time for people to express their impromptu speaking style. Today's theme is celebrating others. Word of the day, praise. And I certainly will involve the guest to take part. Just think about Table Topics are mini speeches. It consists of 3 parts. It has the beginning, middle, and conclusion. Madam Timer, I know how stringent you are with timing. It's really, really great. Keep in mind, green at 1, amber 1.5, and red at 2. And I like to pick the first person who wants to go. And let me see who I've got here. And I see Sandra from TNT. Are you there? Please unmute yourself.
I am.
Okay, very good. You are the first lucky draw winner. And your question is, your friend just got married and you were asked to be the MC in celebrating his happiness for others. You are to plan the proceeding for the evening. Please proceed.
Mr. Toastmaster of the meeting. Mr. Master of Ceremonies. Marriage is the high seas for which no compass has yet been invented. It is something you have to give your whole mind to. You have to be prepared before you get into this. I would like to praise the groom, but I would also like him to know what's in store for both of them. To the bride and groom, may, for better or worse, be far better than worse. May you get all the happiness in life that there is, and may your lives be eternally happy together. Take some of the tips from our earlier speaker, and you will do very well. Toastmaster of the meeting, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Great job. Thank you very much. Now we're calling on the second speaker for this morning, afternoon, evening. Do we have Linda Orlando somewhere? Are you still there, Linda?
Yes, I am.
All right. Would you like to take part in the second question?
Sure.
All right. The celebration is going to be there for the World Cup in a few days. Are you familiar with World Cup football?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so I'll get you a different question then. Christmas holidays will be upon us in a matter of days. If you're celebrating, that's fine. But how would you like to celebrate anyways, the holidays? Linda.
Mr. Table Topics Master and fellow Toastmasters, how would I like to celebrate? I remember back in my childhood when all of my aunts and mother were alive. Each year, the family took turns hosting Christmas. It was always enjoyment for me that day because all of my aunts and uncles and my cousins got together for the Christmas holiday. We had dinner. Then afterwards, there would be so-called our band entertainment. I had cousins who played the guitar, the accordion, an uncle who played the drums, and depending whose house we were at, a piano. My cousin played the piano, and we would sing Christmas songs, and we would ad-lib and make our own words. Kansas City was the favorite song that my dad and my uncles used to sing, and I would give anything to have all of my relatives back with us and to celebrate Christmas in that fashion, because that brings memories and good memories back for me. Back to you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you so much, Linda. The third question, the third individual. Are you there, AJ? AJ, are you there? No, okay.
Yes,
All right.
I am. Yes, I am.
AJ, thank you very much. Are you familiar with the football then?
I am familiar with the World Cup.
Okay, very good, excellent. Then I'm in order. I'm very honored. If, for instance, have you picked do you have a favorite?
I did until the United States somehow did not go through. So my new favorite is, I don't know, I was watching this morning. Netherlands didn't make it through.
Okay, your question then is, assuming that a winner would be chosen, or meaning a deserving winner will come about, how will you celebrate the football, even though your USA team has moved on?
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master. Celebration, just like feedback, the cornerstone of our Toastmasters experience, consists of celebrating the effort that was given. Whether you win or lose, be it a contest or be it the World Cup, we toast and celebrate the effort that was made. We appreciate people who are willing to step forward to represent us, whether or not it is representation of a club at a contest, or whether or not it's representation of a country like the World Cup. We see here in the United States that 0-0 is something to celebrate, as is every time we come together as Toastmasters. I know that when I finish watching the World Cup, regardless of the team that wins, I'll be celebrating everyone who made the effort. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much. The next one is for Marcus Selvakumar. Marcus, are you available to take on the next table topics question? Unmute yourself, please. Marcus. If Marcus is not there, then we'll go on to Zoe. Zoe, would you be willing to take on?
Yeah.
Okay, Zoe, your question is something unique. You are to do a celebration of life for an Uncle Tom who just left his body at the age of 92. You are to do an eulogy. Please proceed, Zoe.
The day comes that life ends. We try our best to not think about it. We try our best. Think only about the moment now, enjoy the moment now, seize the day, and the furthest day, the time we can think about is tomorrow. That's how we live our life, today and tomorrow. And the day has come when Uncle Tom ends his life. and we are celebrating death. I know in many cultures, death is a taboo. People try not to talk about it, and even in funeral, all we have is silence. We don't know how to talk about death. But here, dear fellow Toastmasters and friends, I encourage all of you to talk about death and to celebrate death if that's a life worth living, just as Uncle Tom's. Uncle Tom is a lifelong Toastmaster member who has always so supportive in the club. And having him in leadership speak, we have that role model there, who is so passionate, supportive, and celebrate each member's growth. That's the legacy he leaves to us. Life is worth living because we are going to die. Think about that. It's because of the limits of life that we try so hard every day to toast every single day, to toast every small triumph, and to toast when a life dies with the uniqueness.
Thank you, Zoe. TMOD, are you ready for our next question? Would you like to partake in the table topics? Tia, are you there? Okay, maybe she does not want to. Okay, we'll move on to the next person, Jay Kumar Negpal. Jay, would you like to take part? Jay, not there. Okay, all right, I got the message. All right. Next one would be then. Yeah, not them, Marcus. We'll have to turn to the table top. Oh, table topics. All right, all right.
All right, I think we have no more time. It's 10 o'clock, so we have to go to the section.
All right.
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
All right. Thank you. We're thankful for everybody who participated. And thank you for bringing about very, very good topics in there. All right. Thank you very much, Madam. And back to you, Mr. Fursey, the Toastmaster of the day, evening, and all over. Back to you, Mr.
Thank
Fursey.
you. Thank you, Toastmaster Ram Lakan Pal. High praise to you, sir. Very provocative questions. Nicely done. Nicely done. And I appreciate your efforts to try to bring people in and our guests. Lovely. Thank you. A timer's report. Toastmaster Banasri Banerjee.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. I'm really in awe that people here were able to compress as well as stretch within 2 minutes. And the time that they have taken precisely, Toastmaster Sandra, she has taken 1 minute, 23 seconds. Linda, on Christmas, 1 minute, 25 seconds. AJ, you have taken 1 minute, 18 seconds to talk about soccer. Zoe, wow, 2 minutes, 12 seconds. And Jay, and that's it. I don't think Jay took part.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. I'm now going to call for the voting for the table topics. Is that you, Madam SAA?
I don't have access to the polls and I cannot do it, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, what if everyone were to send you their votes? Would you mind playing?
Yes, absolutely. You can send.
That is awesome. Would please? Oh, was there an issue? No.
No.
If you would please send your vote for best table topic speaker to Mariana Burka, SAA Mariana Burka. While you're doing that, I'm going to take this moment to talk about and celebrate Mariana Burka. She says that she would love to set up a special award for functionary role players. This would be for everyone who did all 4 of the positions, SAA, Toastmaster, Grammarian, and Timer roles would receive special recognition certificate, since functionary roles are the backbone of the meeting. Couldn't agree with you more. Thank you, Toastmaster Mariana Burka. Love that thought. Please, a reminder to send your votes to Mariana Burka for Best Table Topic Speaker. We will call for those a little later on. I know these don't just happen just like the digital ones. We're going to go ahead and move on to our general evaluator. For that, I'm going to introduce Postmaster Bowen. Please take the stage.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, capital G, Mr. G. I am the General Evaluator, Francoise Bowen, and I'm coming to you from the Caribbean island of Antigua and Barbuda. Yes, Leadership Speak is a global network of members, of leaders, and I'm assuming that some persons may not have heard of Antigua and Barbuda in the Caribbean. Majority of the time when persons hear the Caribbean, they think of Jamaica. No, Antigua and Barbuda is part of the Caribbean with the long chains. And in my evaluation, I will be calling on my team. They're not from Antigua. They're not here in Antigua and Barbuda. They are at various places. But I will call on our first evaluator. And our first evaluator will be none other than Toastmaster Sudarshan. Toastmaster Sudarshan. And he will be evaluating our first speaker. And our first speaker was Dr. Aswathy. Take it over.
And the ball passes to the center forward. The center forward is moving close to the goal. She dribbles, and the referee blows the whistle, and she is out of the game, ladies and gentlemen. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, Toastmaster Ashwini's speech was exactly how a game of hockey is played. And I love the fact that a fellow hockey player was taking the stage for the first time. Her story was communicated to all of us through a multiplicity of mediums. You think I'm crazy? No, I'm not. Let me tell you how. She came to the stage. She started with a pace which was very staccato, and the story kept building up, much like a Bollywood potboiler does. In the first frame was a story about herself, and we didn't know who the protagonist was. That created intrigue, that created interest. But the protagonist displayed her entirety of skills through her voice, through her face, through her body language, and of course, through her words. Every sentence she spoke embellished the story. Every word she used ensured that we remained enraptured to what's transpiring on the screen. And eventually, when she pulled the drapes and said, that person was none other than me, you, at least I did, feel an overwhelming wave of empathy toward her. And that's when she had plumbed to the depths of despair, so to speak. Kilos overweight, a dream lost, and then came the climax where she told us how she's overcome. And all of that meant that this story remains with us and will remain with us for a long time to come. She used all her attributes exceedingly well, and this made it palatable as well. Now for a few specific recommendations in terms of what our speaker could do better. First and foremost, this speech was poignant. This speech was a slice of life. I would have appreciated if the background was not distracting. I, for one, wanted to only focus on the speaker and kept looking for that, but there were things in the background which were distracting. There was a painting on the left of the speaker. There was a doorway on the right. And I was interested to know what's going to happen from behind there. And therefore, I would recommend in an online platform, get a background which ensures that the attention remains on the speaker. The second was the way in which the words came out from start to finish. Very exciting, very interesting, however, extremely similar. There was a dialogue. Madam, you're 20 kilos overweight. I would have loved to see the transition between who is speaking, the person saying so and the recipient, and the required facial expressions changing. That said, the speech has ample scope for movement, almost like what a ballerina could do. And that's something that the speaker can think about when she frames her stage the next time around. All in all, this was a very evocative speech, something close to my heart, and she brought it out exceedingly beautifully. So thank you very much for that, Toastmaster Aswathy. And with that, I hand it back to our general evaluator.
Thank you so much for that beautiful evaluation. And the beautiful thing about receiving evaluation, it helps to better you a lot. And just like you, Toastmaster Sudarshan, when Dr. Aswathy said, it's her, wow, that's how impactful our speeches must be. You keep that person on the edge, and you gave a beautiful, beautiful feedback to our speaker. Thank you so much. I'll call on our next evaluator, and our next evaluator is none other than Toastmaster Sandy. And Toastmaster Sandy will be giving her evaluation to Toastmaster Hannah. The virtual lecture is now yours, Toastmaster Sandy.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Francois from the Caribbean. I am zooming in from Northern Canada. Our colors are different. Fellow Toastmasters, and especially to Hannah Schmidt. This is the project where you do a project the second time based on your feedback from the previous project, speech project. And Hannah shared with me before the meeting that she had changed a few things in her speech, and that is what I'd like to address, as well as a few other things. So Hannah, I really liked the title, Betty's 24/7. And what you did in your speech was take us through an entire day of Betty's life with the purpose, I think, is awakening the listener, me, to the valuable resource of time and to how it quickly, hour one, we wake up, hour two, we do certain things, then it's lunch. And so you brought us through that whole day of what it was like in Betty's life. A couple of things I would have liked, and I don't know how to do this, but I'm pretty sure you do. I would have liked a great big clock in the background, maybe on a slide, or, I'm not a techie person, but the visual of how the day slips away by hour by hour by hour, and that visual, because you did it with language and in the narrative of pointing out the times of the day and moving from activity to activity. And the other thing that I felt was this urgency of the day ending, because you would often say, 1 hour left, 2 hours to go. And, I could feel my breathing, because it's so easy to get caught up in that what's next, what's next, what's next. So in listening, that's what I heard the most from the message, is that if you don't take charge of that valuable resource, you're just going to go day in and day out and going from activity to activity. The clock would have made a difference for me. Something else that I would have liked, and I already want to know, would I believe would make it more powerful, that message, is in the ending, and then Betty begins again. The next day. So not only is Betty living from activity to activity and life is passing her by, but the added oomph for me would have been, and tomorrow she wakes up and does the same thing all over again, and then move into your closing, which was about the importance of time being that valuable resource, and maybe even a stronger call to action. So what time are you waking up tomorrow, or what does your day planner look like? That kind of thing. In closing, I love the message and I love the reminder, and I can't be told often enough that time is of the essence and use it wisely. Thank you for that message that I needed today, Madam GE.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sandy, for providing that evaluation to Toastmaster Hannah, DTM Hannah. And it is so important that we all must embrace time, respect time, love time, so that you can make the best of time all around us, because we just don't know when our time will end. Thank you for that evaluation. And I'll now call on our last evaluator, none other than Distinguished Toastmaster Nurel. Distinguished Toastmaster Nurel will be evaluating Dr. Bindhu. Dr. Bindhu. I now invite to the virtual lectern, Distinguished Toastmaster Nurel.
I cannot find her. She was with us in a few minutes ago, but probably she has a connection issue because I don't see her.
Okay.
So I think we need to go to the next section, and she will do her evaluation later on for Bindhu.
Okay, what I was going to do, I was going to ask our Toastmaster of the day that if he can just give a evaluation of Toastmaster Bindhu presentation.
I can certainly fill in as best I can. Thank you, General Evaluator Francoise G. Bowen. Bindhu, thank you very much for that incredibly entertaining speech. There were moments where I laughed out loud, and I was kind of glad that I was muted because you made me just burst out in laughter, because your humor happens in unexpected ways. It just sort of pops out. I'm like, oh, that was funny. That was great. It was so human. You allowed us to enjoy such a human moment. And I think that's one of the great things that you do in your speeches. You invite us in and you revel in the moment and you bring us into that moment. And that's a really terrific thing. I enjoy that. I like that. I think you speak very clearly. You speak with power. You have great presence. I think that's awesome. I think that's awesome because it brings us into another world, if I could say that. It brings us into that other world that you create for us, where we want to take that into the next step. I'd like a little bit more of that narrator in you to reach out to us, to remind us that you're bringing us into that world, because you're inviting us. You're inviting us into the world. And every once in a while, some of us, just like the kids in the back of the class, we're like, I'm not sure where we're going with this. And you got to like, oh yeah, come on, this is good, come on. And so give us a little bit of variety there. Give us a little bit of a shift, give us a little bit of a pivot in your emotions and attach a verb to it. If you were to think of a verb of what you're doing as a speaker to entice your audience, to force your audience, to seduce your audience, what is it that you're doing? Put a verb on it, on what you're doing to your audience to bring them into this world. And I think you're going to be able to see in the reactions of the people in your audience, whether it's here in this screen or in a live situation, you're going to be able to see them react. And you'll be able to see if, are they on the right path to where you want us? Because you want to take us someplace, right? You want to take us someplace. You've got the whole presentation. You want to take us to someplace. Check in with us. Are we there? Do you still have us in the palm of your hand? And then when you've got us in the palm of your hand, you got us. Yeah. And then enjoy that moment as a speaker and let the audience know, oh yeah, I gotcha. I think that lets the audience know that you had us all the way. And that feels kind of good as an audience member, that the speaker has us and we don't have to be scared. We don't have to be worried, and we don't have to fight it off. Go with it. Go with speaker Dr. Joseph. And it's going to be a great journey. Thank you, Dr. Bindhu Joseph. I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Fursey, for that evaluation of Dr. Bindhu. And to wrap up with all our evaluators, definitely on point. But I'm going to come right back just to give a few more. I'm going to call on our timer, and our timer is Toastmasters Banasri. Can you please give us the time for all our evaluators?
Absolutely, G.E. Frank. How?
You can say Bowen, that's fine. You can say Bowen, that is fine.
Okay, Bowen, yes. So as we know, hockey and football is an art. It requires speed, precision, and an intelligence to develop logical sequence of movements. Our evaluators have exactly brought out their evaluation in a logical sequence of movement within 3 minutes of time. Still, to elaborate, DTM Sudarshan, he has taken 3 minutes, 27 seconds. Sandy has taken 3 minutes, 11. And Toastmaster of the day, Fursey, has taken 3 minutes, 24 seconds. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Banasri, for the report of the time. It's so important, time. And just to now travel back to what I was speaking about, our evaluators being on point, definitely the feedback hit all of us in this room, all of us that is watching. Every evaluation gave us an aha moment. Oh, okay, I didn't know. All right, I'll put this better. How are we going to master it into our professional world, into our social sphere? And it's not just about being better in Toastmasters to be a Toastmasters meeting. It's using it in our daily life. Thank you so much for evaluators for bringing the sandwich, as is known in Toastmasters, bringing the sandwich. You're giving the bad, the good, the bad, the challenge, the better. Or let's look at it as a hamburger. You have the bun, the lettuce, the tomato, whatever sauce, if it's the ketchup or mayonnaise, whatever you want to put on it, and you have the meat. Then you have the lettuce, the tomato, the cucumber, and whatever else you want to put on there, and then the bun itself for the hamburger. So you gave that, and that is what evaluation should be. That is balanced, really balanced, and all of you gave that. I'll now call on our grammarian. Our grammarian was listening, and our grammarian will be giving us information about what they heard throughout the meeting, the word of the day, and if any keen quotes that she will share with us. And now hand the virtual lecture to our grammarian, Toastmaster Murray.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator Françoise Bowen. So what an incredible meeting. The level of English, it's very high, so high, that's very high for me too. First at all, for the verb to prize, it was used so many times that I forget to count all the time it was used. Thank you very much to appreciate my verb to praise. First, I noticed some very small things about About the plural. For example, guest, the plural of guest is guests, not gases. And we say, someone say, we make her a call. It is better to say we give her a call. And of course, because we are lots of different people from the world, we don't understand always all the accents. So I didn't understand some words, but I think you do understand some words that I use also. For the speaker, it is very incredible how you use a rhetorical figure. You use lots of different verbs to traduce different emotion. It was very incredible. For example, I relate from Bindhu, good use of rhetoric like do. It is an alliteration on like do, dreary, drizzly. It was so nice. For example, the metaphor for goldfish. And also you use Cheshire Small. It was so nice. It is that you get on very good with someone, and it is very nice metaphor. And finally, for the use of to praise for the table topics, it was the different use of praise. So it was very nice to see how we can have different way of praise for the table topics, like Ram tried to do it. So it's up for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Marie, for your report on the group, on what you've heard, what you listened to, and sharing that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks for allowing me to be your general evaluator from the beginning of the meeting to the end. It was so active. Everyone was on their feet. Everyone was paying attention. I purposely kept my camera off so that I can ensure that I'm looking at everything properly. Sometimes as a general evaluator too, one of the things that I love to do is when I have my camera off, I also close my eyes as well, so I can picture what is happening in the meeting. If someone is listening that might not be able to see it, how am I picturing it? How is it coming? So having my camera off and just listening and then watching everybody enjoyed. I could tell everybody did. There's something I want to highlight about our Toastmaster of the day. Behind the scenes, he was actually getting everyone attention. He asked a lot of questions. What are the things that you would like members, the audience to be aware of that you want celebrated? Or who do you want to celebrate? What achievement did you accomplish that it didn't get celebrated on, but you want us to celebrate you? I find that was really instructive for me. What? Why would the Toastmaster of the day asking the speakers, the role players this? I too was thinking, what accomplishment do I have that I would like to be shared? I was so stunned, and up to now I have not been able to respond. But this is what you call leadership in action, or as it is known as leaders taking initiative. It's not just coming at the meeting and yes, I know I'm supposed to be the Toastmaster of the day. Hi, how are you? And we go right in. Toastmaster of the day, for those who are not Toastmasters, mean Master of Ceremonies. And go right in. No, he took the time to understand what is happening. And in just the same way, being a massive ceremonies in the corporate world, you're invited, you're going to ask the host questions. You're going to ask, is there anyone in particular I need to honor? Is there anyone in particular that I need to give a mention of in my speech? And Toastmaster Fursey did that. So thank you so much, Toastmaster Fursey. Thanks, thanks, thanks. At this time, I'll now hand it back over to our Toastmaster of the day, distinguished Toastmaster Fursey, to close things off. And to any one of you who would be watching us even on the YouTube, don't hesitate, join us. Take your growth seriously and let Toastmasters be the means to your end. Create a positive legacy. The virtual lecture is now yours, distinguished Toastmaster Fursey.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Terrific job. I appreciate it. And thank you for the kind words. A very fantastic job to everyone this evening. There's a little thing that we did to celebrate others, and I'm not sure that you realize that many of you did it. One of the most unique ways to celebrate someone is to actually say their name. I know in Toastmasters we get used to our roles, but the idea of hearing your name is a way to celebrate that individual, whether it's Françoise G. Bowen or Ram Lakanpal, Dr. Bindhu Joseph. By the way, we have 2 doctors in the room tonight. Is that right? Or are there more? We have Dr. Joseph and Dr. Rajan. I think that's an amazing thing to celebrate. And I appreciate both of you for being with us. I appreciate all 4 people who spoke, 4 ladies. Well done. Well done. I think we forget to celebrate those who are really awesome.
3 doctors.
3? Who's the 3rd? Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Rosie.
Rosie! Fantastic. I was wondering. Dr. Rana, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you letting me know that. I think it's great to be able to celebrate those kinds of achievements and the kinds of things that you do for others. And so we celebrate you. At this point in time, we are going to celebrate our table topics winner. Our table topics winner this evening is, drum roll please. Sandy always does so well at this. Our table topics winner for the evening is Zoe Xie. Zoe Xie, all the way from Hangzhou, China. Small little village of 11 million people. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we are going to, it is that time to end the meeting. So we're going to officially gavel out the meeting, but we'd like to talk with our guests this evening. If you wouldn't mind staying on for a little bit, guests, we'd love to get to know you, talk to you, get your feedback on our meeting so that we can keep improving. But thank you very much, everybody. And of course, where is, hey, Anne, thanks a lot for the toast tip.